Most interesting thing that I found when I started working with the Marine units is that I felt that they were really unprotected when they did the boardings. Nobody was protecting them. And I found that interesting because as a sniper, myself and a sniper instructor, I felt we could do much better. Recent developments in equipment have given us the capability of protecting the boats when they are boarding and when they are operating against the piracy. And I think that this is just a little presentation about why we have that new capability because of the improvements in equipment and the improvements in training, and that we have to rethink the way we are doing things because we can actually protect the guys that are on harm's way before they actually face a very bad visibility situation where they are really fighting an enemy on a superior position, which is not the best condition for a tactical unit. So let's start with it. As you see, my name is Eduardo Abril de Fontcuberta. I'm a sniper instructor, and by chance, I'm the world champion right now in 50 cal 1,000-yard shooters. I want to introduce you the basic problem we have right now. This is my email, just in case somebody wants to contact me or make any questions about it. The problem we have right now is that for all kinds of visit board search and seizure operations, or either you go with a boat or you go with a helicopter. And helicopters are very complex machines, and they tend to have some issues. So you end up having to board the ships and with the ribs. That is rather complicated because they are very unprotected when they get close. That's one of the reasons for that ballistic protection you talked about. Okay. You also have to do a lot of overwatch operations, and that is very well covered right now with the current sniping protocols. You have to do some surgical intercept and disable fire, especially with the 50 cal, and through the onboard protection of vessels you can actually maintain a perimeter, a rather long perimeter, out from the RPG range with a 50 cal, and with current rifles we can actually do it. And also, please remind that this is based in protection for the ribs and protection against the skiffs and the enemy forces. Okay, the solution, as I see it, is the application of new capabilities give us the possibility of applying sniper fire as surgical fire, which it wasn't possible on the sea a few years ago. We can support the assault teams, which we couldn't do either. And we have right now with the 50 cals, with a Raufoss ammunition, with the special new grade AA, you have a very good accuracy up to 1,000 meters, and you can actually get the mothership rather close to the skiff without risking having an RPG round. You can actually be the eyes of your commander because you have high power optics and very trained eyes behind the optics. And you can actually maintain the perimeter in ports, which you cannot do right now without having a huge gun risking lots of collateral damage. Basically the snipers, even though they don't shoot, they are the best eyes on the ship to protect the ship, or the assault teams. With the snipers, we have a lot of advantages. We have an extra safety for the teams, which will be most happy to know that somebody's taking care of them when they get close to the enemy. You have a very low collateral damage. You don't have to shoot an M2 machine gun or a 25mm cannon, which can kill everybody on board, even small kids or something, and make the news afterwards. You can put out a lot of surgical fire. You have a lot of advantage because you have a lot of capacity, of optical capacity. And you also have the capability of surgical elimination of the commander of the enemy unit or the chief of the Barrett unit, which will leave them without head, without command. And that's also a possibility. And with a multipurpose round, you can actually disable the skiff or the enemy boat without having to risk having to shoot a machine gun against them, which mostly all the times cause injuries or death. It's also very cost effective, because if you do it right, only a few rounds of sniper ammunition will be needed. You don't need to deploy helicopters, you don't need to deploy drones, you don't need to deploy anything else but good and accurate fire. And also, you will be able to keep the mothership, which is a rather big boat with a captain that has the last word on every tactical situation, and you can keep it outside RPG range, which is a rather complicated situation for them. We also have disadvantages. Sniping is a very complex tactical role, very complex. Takes many time to get proficient at it. It's very reliant on a high level of training, and also on very specialized equipment. And that specialized equipment is not right now deployed. Most of the units are using equipment designed 25 years ago, and it's not up to the task on the level of tactical use I'm talking about. The skill level has to be maintained all the time. If you don't keep your snipers trained, eventually during the boat deployment of 6 months, the skill level will go down radically. So you have to keep them trained, and that's very difficult on a small boat or a small ship. And there's a high cost in training with RIBs, because you will have to deploy the whole unit, a boat, and lots of things that may make the actual cost of the full unit training with the snipers very, very expensive. But the operational cost is really low. What we have right now, most of the navies right now are using limitedly sniper fire when they are very, very close. And most of the times they're using 50 cal M2 Brownings, which are not as accurate as they should be. The fire is not accurate. And I really don't think that it's the best suited weapon for the role of protecting your RIB units when they assault an enemy skiff. It's a liability. We have found in the Spanish Navy that once you start shooting, you end up hitting the wrong targets, because it's not an accurate gun. And also, it's inaccurate, not because that the gun is inherently accurate, but it's not designed for surgical fire. It's designed for suppressing role. So that's one big issue also. And most of the times, people apply the fire of the 50 cal without the use of multipurpose ammunition. They use ball ammunition for all kinds of strange reasons. And the M33 50 cal ammunition is just a big bullet. It won't do a lot of harm on a skiff. It will damage, and if you shoot a lot, it will damage the skiff, but it will injure more the occupants than damage the skiff. With the multipurpose ammunition, you will see a little bit later, you can actually stop the skiffs. This is the kind of accuracy I'm talking about. Basically, with the M33 ball, as you can see on the left, you have at 550 meters, which is 600 yards, basically, you are barely striving to hit a human target with the M2. And with a sniper rifle, even with the old Barrett, you are still on the head, on empirical precision. I mean, just a sniper shooting on the ground. That's the way they do this kind of testing. So you actually have the capability. And this is just the standard NATO rounds from 10 years ago. This has improved about double. Which are the typical sniper scenarios? Your boats try to search or seizure a skiff or a boat, and you can find all kinds of no-shoots down there. There are hostages. There are enemies, but they are mixed with other people that shouldn't be shot at, and that's what precludes the commander to have a clear green light to the go-ahead. So the crews go against the enemy unprotected, because they cannot be protected from the machine gun fire. With the snipers, you can actually get outside the RPG range and still protect your crews. With all the restricting rules of engagement we have right now, for example, in Atalanta, we have had all kinds of trouble with the commanders not being able, forced by politically decisions, and letting the pirates go away because he couldn't dare and shoot, because there were other no-shoots on the boat, and he was really worried about injuring them and making the CNN afterwards. So with the snipers, you can actually get more flexible and more accurate decisions for the commanders. Okay, right now we have been using snipers for a long time on all kinds of operations, and some were good, some were bad, but they all demonstrate that even with the equipment we had 10 years ago, it could be done. We just needed a little push in training and equipment. In the Spanish Navy, did a good operation that it didn't end up so good after all, but because of other reasons. But the snipers were able to clean the Sontan, which headed with some missiles from Syria to Yemen, and in combination with the SEALs, which actually stopped the boat. And they demonstrated that you can actually do a lot of work with snipers against targets. Then a few years later, on the SEAL Team 6 rescued the captain Phillips with a Brainbridge, with a USS Brainbridge, by sniper shot at 150 yards, something like that. You could actually do it much better right now, but this is the basics for the work we are doing right now. What I mean is that this is done right now, but you can extend with the current equipment we have, you can extend it about double. So you can actually be safer, and you can actually protect your boat units that are on harm's way. How can you do this? How can you enhance the capacity of protection for the assault teams? Basically with new equipment that is being developed right now, with structured training, something that nobody was doing a few years ago, and integration with the tactical boat crews, and cross-training. Right now there are some new books, like the one you saw, which is from Friedrich Johnson, which is a rather interesting book being used in all the world. It's the best book about maritime sniping. You have new systems of training for structured training, which includes moving targets, moving platforms, all kinds of stuff that very few units in the world did a few years ago. So all that helps the commander have trust on the snipers and be able to take the decision, which is a very, very complex decision for him to take, that to use the deadly force, because he trusts that they can be able to put surgical shots against the enemy. It's very important to integrate all that into the boat crews, because they need to know how the snipers will operate, and they need to know that they are being protected and how they are being protected. If not, it won't mean anything, because they have been using snipers for 20 years, and they never feel protected by them. So they need to know that something has changed, and the level of accuracy they can afford. And it's very important for the cross-training, because you have to integrate the snipers, which are not integrated in most navies right now, and the commander has to know that he can count on them when the tough moments come. And that's not done in most navies anywhere right now. The new equipment we have is capable of an incredible accuracy. There you have 5 shots at 1,000 yards, which is 1.9 inches. I mean, you can do awesome things right now with the 50 cal. You have lots of software capacity, which wasn't available 5 years ago. We can compute moving targets, different angles, different seas, swells. You can compute mostly everything. We are shooting at 1.5 miles, 2 miles, very, very far. And we are doing it all day long. I mean, not one, many people is doing it. So there's a new capability, new rifles, new ammunitions, and we have to make profit of it. Why? Because it would be stupid not to do it. We cannot use the training methods that were used 20 years ago, because we have new equipment. The new rifles we have are much more lethal, because they are much more accurate, and the bullets are designed to do exactly what we want them to do. They are more accurate. We have increased the accuracy of the sniper systems radically. They are more rugged. Basically, most of the rifles used right now were designed 25 years ago. The new rifles are incredibly rugged compared to those. And they are marine-proof. There are new coatings, new finishes. that have been proved in the US and in many other places, and like PVD, things like that, and they're really, really marine proof. Okay, the first step towards all this is training. I believe in training really, really deeply because it involves very little acquisition money, very little budget. It's an attitude more than anything else. You don't have to do a lot of things. Just get your mind into the new mood, get the new protocols, and start implementing them. You have to do that for the snipers. They have to learn how to work the new ways. You have to do it with the boat crews. They have to learn to work the snipers with the new capabilities. And you have to do it with the assault teams. And you have to also train the people on the ship, on the mothership, on the GoPlat, because they know that they are safe, because they are being protected by somebody that can keep a perimeter, because they know they don't have it right now. There are tons of videos on YouTube. Basically, they protect the ship when the pirates they are hitting on the board. And that's crazy. I mean, you don't have to get that close. You can do very, very good shots for 500 meters. From 3 to 500, you can actually keep them off, and you're basically safe from RPG rounds. Okay, you have also new capabilities, as I told you. There are new books that tell you what to do, how to do it. There are new books about structured development of the sniper shootings and the sniper teams, and you have to take profit from that. That was not available 2 years ago. You have to train the sniper with the boat crews, because they need to trust him. They're going to board a ship, and they're going to have nearly shots flying over their heads, and they need to trust that these guys are able to do it. They need to understand how they work. They need to know what they do if the bullets start flying around, and they need to help them by getting off the way if needed. They need to help them with communications. The snipers have a lot of issues with communicating with the assault teams, because they need to tell them what they are seeing. They are the eyes of the assault teams, and nobody's taking profit of that either. They go through the commander and back to the assault team, and that should be straight direct. And also they have to know how to react when the sniper fire starts. Basically, it's all revolving around the concept I just said. Get everybody trained together to learn about the new capabilities. Okay, once you have some training and people are starting to get to the maximum performance of their equipment, the current equipment, you have to start finding new ammunition. That doesn't involve a lot of money either. I mean, it's just finding around. And don't relax and don't take the typical ammunition the Navy gives you. There are very good ammunitions out there that even with the current rifles and optics will give you a lot of extra performance. It will be more accurate. You will have better terminal effects. It will give you flexibility, and can be used right now with the equipment we have. Most of the people right now in military units have NAMO rifles. I see everywhere that the snipers are not having this ammunition because they are issued machine gun ammunition, because that's what they have. They say, okay, 50 is a 50, and they give them. This cuts the performance of the teams radically. It shouldn't happen, and it happens everywhere. The multipurpose ammunition, I will go very quickly through this because we don't have a lot of time, but basically you have it on the presentation if somebody's interested. This is the very interesting thing, because this was secret a few years ago, and this is what's inside a multipurpose round. People have been using it for 20 years, but they didn't know what's inside because it was secret. All the bullets from all the ammunition, multipurposes, are made in NAMO in Norway, and they didn't allow anybody to go in. If you cut it, it explodes. So people didn't know, and this is what's inside. And it's a very complex thing. It really works fine, and it has a lot of capability. It does a lot of things. You can take a look. It's suppressing fire against light targets. This is what it does behind the target. It's an incendiary effect. Multipurpose means that it has incendiary, suppression, fragmentation. Basically, it will burn the machinery, all the oils inside the skiff. So it will give you a lot of capability. It can also penetrate heavy armor up to something that is supposedly secret, but it's around 25 millimeters anyway. And it's a thick, very thick armor. And therefore, we have a lot of capability with the ammunition too. Then we have right now incredible optics. Even in the worst situations, you can actually find your target. You have ballistic computers that can help the sniper correct for very complex situations in shooting angles, shooting up, shooting down, very distance, range distances. And that's available right now. You just have to take profit of it. And you have thermals. You have lots of things that can help the snipers. The new equipment, talking about rifles, gives you a lot of possibilities that are not used. Most of the navies right now still use the old 7.62 rifles, which have a range about 800 meters. Even then, on the sea, they are limited. And the 50 with non-Raufoss ammunition or the old designs of rifles. Right now, you can have much better equipment. 338 Lapua can shoot really straight like laser at 700 meters, 800 meters, and afford a lot of shots, even in the worst wind situations. Also, the new 50 cal, the new Barrett is much more accurate than the old one, which wasn't really a sniper weapon. It was an anti-material weapon. The new rifle is truly a sniper weapon. It's sniper accurate, so it will give the sniper teams on the ships a fully sniper capability. This is the idea. It has, you can point with lasers. You can designate targets for any fire support, for any kind of targeting system, and basically that's it. All this is just food for thought. You have to rethink when you work with protection forces. You have to find out what are their true capabilities. If they don't know about this, tell them, because there's a whole new world of protection for the ribs if you use the new equipment and the new training available. Thank you very much.